Okay, so if you're involved in scaling a company right now, maybe in people ops, you definitely know the score. Talent competition, it's fierce. Finding that right person is tough. And keeping them engaged, growing, even harder. And getting it wrong, well, that's arguably the costliest mistake any organization can make. So today we're doing a deep dive. We're looking at the future of human resources, specifically how AI isn't just, tweaking things, but fundamentally rewriting the rule book. We're digging into the big trends, the data, looking ahead to 2026 and even beyond. But before we really jump in, this deep dive is brought to you by AI Opportune. Welcome to AI Opportune. Think of it as your front row seat to the future of artificial intelligence. It's where bold ideas meet actual hands-on innovation. So whether you're a founder, a creative, maybe a curious builder, we help turn emerging tech into practical tools you can use like right now. At AI Opportune, we don't just talk about what's next. We really want to help you shape it. If that sounds like something you need, your kind of edge, definitely hit subscribe to AI Opportune. It's your weekly advantage in this whole AI era. Okay, so back to our mission for today. The big question, the one we hear a lot, is pretty fundamental. Is AI coming into HR? Is it a threat? Or is it maybe the best asset HR teams could ask for? Our goal here is to unpack why AI is basically essential now, how it really boosts speed, and importantly, documented fairness, and also what parts of HR are just always going to need that human touch.
Yeah, and to kick that off, we really need to understand the core problem AI is solving here. The sources we looked at consistently point this out. The old way of doing HR, it just can't keep up with modern scale. Think about it. A company goes global, the talent pool explodes across continents, or you get thousands, literally thousands of applications for one job. Those manual processes shuffling resumes, they just break.
And that breakdown means losing out, right? Those super slow interview cycles, the back and forth scheduling emails, staring at endless resume piles. It's not just inefficient, it's actively losing the best people to companies that move faster.
Precisely. That delay is absolutely fatal in today's talent market. Top candidates, they're gone in days, not weeks. And that's why AI and HR isn't some, nice-to-have experiment anymore. It's becoming a structural necessity.
Which brings us to that key mindset shift you see in the sources. The way we talk about it is crucial. It's not AI replacing people, it's AI helping them perform at a much higher level, like a force multiplier.
Exactly. It's a focus shift. I mean, think about all those hours sunk into repetitive admin tasks. AI can automate a huge chunk of that. And that frees up the people teams, right?
Yeah.
Lets them concentrate on the high-value stuff, culture, employee development, retention strategies, and, those really crucial human interactions that make or break a company's character.
Yeah, we like thinking about it as AI being the sort of invisible co-pilot.
Mhm.
It's working away in the background, scanning huge amounts of data, sorting candidates, spotting patterns maybe a human would miss. So the human HR team is then freed up, unburdened, allowing them to really focus on finding, growing, and keeping the great people. And that combination speed and fairness, that's the new competitive edge.
And you see that edge most clearly right at the start, hiring. That's where AI's impact is probably the most immediate and measurable.
Okay, let's talk about that speed. Anyone who's manually sifted through even just 100 resumes knows that feeling, right? Decision fatigue kicks in fast. But these AI platforms, things like Eightfold or even modules in LinkedIn Recruiter, HireVue, they just chew through that workload instantly.
And it's not just fast, it's accurate. The sources show AI identifying the best fit skills, the relevant experience, up to 75% faster than relying purely on manual review.
75%, that's huge.
It is, and it's not just saving time, it's cutting the risk of losing that perfect candidate just because your team was, bogged down sifting through resumes.
And crucially important, that speed comes with better fairness, moving towards what some call bias-free interviewing. But how does that actually work? What's the machine looking for to keep things consistent?
Well, the mechanics are key here. We know traditional interviews can be full of unconscious human bias, liking people similar to us, looking for things that confirm our initial impression. AI interview copilots tackle this head-on. They ensure every single candidate gets the exact same set of role-specific, objectively designed questions, regardless of their background.
Okay, so AI helps generate the right questions based on competencies, but then how does it ensure consistency when people are actually evaluating the answers?
The consistency often comes from tracking how closely the interviewer sticks to the script, and sometimes analyzing the candidate's answers against preset markers tied only to skills, not personality, not gut feel.
Right.
And just as importantly, AI takes over the scheduling nightmare, coordinating interviewers, booking rooms, or calls. That gets automated. So recruiters spend their valuable time actually analyzing the conversation, not just managing calendars.
Right. So the result is a much smoother, less error-prone pipeline. Quicker offers and ultimately, you'd hope, stronger hires. It feels fairer for the candidate too, and definitely more efficient for the company. But hiring, as we know, is just step one. You find the perfect person, but if they burn out and leave in 6 months, well, that whole effort was wasted. Retention is where companies really win or lose, and this is where AI helps HR become more proactive, less reactive.
Exactly. That proactive element really comes from predictive people analytics. This is becoming a critical tool for retention because these AI systems can analyze employee data patterns, often in real time.
Okay, but what kind of patterns? You have to be careful it doesn't sound too Big Brother-ish. What are we actually looking at?
That's a fair point. The data tends to be non-intrusive, more behavioral, often tied to work patterns and collaboration tools. Sources mention things like a sudden, sustained drop in activity on internal chat like Slack or Teams, or maybe a big decrease in signing up for optional training, or even sudden spikes in requesting time off without related project completions. The system flags these changes in behavior. They're often the earliest signs of burnout or someone thinking about leaving.
That is powerful because it gives managers a window, right? A chance to act before someone hands in their notice. Instead of just doing an exit interview, the manager can actually step in, maybe adjust workload, offer some new training, or just provide some targeted support. It changes the whole conversation.
Precisely. It shifts HR towards being a strategic partner focused on employee success, not just, the compliance or admin department.
And speaking of admin, let's touch on the efficiency gains in just day-to-day support. These 2047 HR chatbots powered by AI, they seem pretty revolutionary.
Oh, they are. They handle that huge volume of routine questions that used to eat up so much HR time. What's my remaining leave? Where's the latest benefits policy? All answered instantly, anytime.
And the time savings aren't small. Sources suggest it saves HR teams something like 15 to 20 hours a week. That's significant. That time can then go straight into strategic work, like developing growth programs or tackling trickier internal issues.
And connecting back to fairness again, AI's impact shows up even in things like the job ads themselves.
Ah, yes, using AI for writing inclusive job descriptions. I find that aspect really fascinating.
It might seem subtle, but it has a profound impact. These AI tools can scan job postings for language that might unintentionally signal biased gendered terms, ageist phrasing, exclusionary jargon. By rewriting them to be neutral and objective, companies see a real business benefit. Sources say they attract up to 40% more diverse candidates, and that diversity is absolutely vital for innovation.
Okay, let's pivot a bit and put some numbers on this because this isn't just theory anymore, right? The results are already showing up. Gartner data looking ahead to 2026 suggests 80% of HR leaders are already using AI for core functions.
Yeah.
Recruiting, onboarding, workforce planning, it's basically becoming standard practice.
And the efficiency gains, they're hitting the bottom line. McKinsey data points to a 30, maybe 40% reduction in time spent on general HR admin. But the performance metrics from companies really leaning into AI, those are the ones that truly show the competitive advantage.
Right, give us those stats, the ones founders and leaders really need to hear. How does this impact the actual business?
Okay, so companies using advanced AI in HR are reporting, on average, a 50% faster time to hire, half the time. They're seeing around 35% better candidate quality, meaning the hires are better fits, performing better. And maybe the biggest one for long-term cost, a 25% lower first-year turnover rate, which, as you said, links right back to those proactive, predictive analytics catching issues early.
Those are genuinely game-changing numbers. AI is clearly nailing the metrics, optimizing the process. But this brings us to that crucial boundary line. What can't AI replace? If we automate the speed and efficiency, what's left for the human HR pro?
And this is the line we absolutely have to draw and defend. It really boils down to emotional intelligence. AI can manage a process flawlessly, but it can't build that deep, essential trust between an employee and their manager or the company. It can't sense those subtle, really complex nuances of culture fit in a final interview round. And crucially, it can't coach someone through a really tough, emotionally charged situation like a bereavement or a serious performance issue.
Right. It's the difference between giving you data and showing actual empathy. AI is an incredible assistant, maybe the best ever, but it can't be the final decider on things needing human judgment, needing compassion.
Exactly. I think the core takeaway from this whole deep dive is that while the tools of work are getting smarter, more automated, more digital, the actual heartbeat of work has to remain human, this tech shift. It should simply give humans more time to do what only humans can do, to connect, to coach, to create, and fundamentally, to care.
Looking forward just a bit, the next wave of HR tech seems poised to offer even more granular insights, right? Things like hyper-personalized learning paths tailored to each employee, sharper people analytics mapping skill gaps across the whole company, and maybe even real-time coaching tools guiding managers and employees through development moments.
Absolutely. And the choice facing founders and HR leaders right now is pretty stark. Lean into this, embrace this shift now. You're essentially setting the standard for talent management for the next decade. The opportunity is clear. Lead the future of HR, set that benchmark for speed and fairness, or honestly, risk getting left behind by competitors in a talent market that just doesn't wait for slow, outdated processes anymore.
That's a powerful challenge to end on. And if you are craving more real-world AI wins, AI Opportune brings them to you. And believe me, the best is just getting started. We're really only scratching the surface of what AI can do for you and your work. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into the future of people operations. As you head back to your day, here's that final thought to chew on. How will you make sure that human element stays the true heartbeat of work, even while you leverage AI for all that essential speed and fairness? We'll catch you on the next one.